Oh, man. Okay, so we're in for one hell of a test. This is a test from God, if there was ever a test from God that was given to me. So we're fighting Lua, Senya, Choux, and I mean, like, I've proven this time and time and time again, even before the buffs, where Christy got like her little buffs. I'll talk about those here in a little bit, but oh man, I hate this matchup. I hate it so much, mainly because, like, right here, the fight has just started, and it's already over. Like, seriously, it's actually already over. So, why do I say that? Well, basically, we're fighting Lua, Senya, Choux. Lua is only going to be going into Shadow Knight Pyllis, and with Lua, I mean, she's not going to do anything of any actual note, because her S2 is only going to go into Shadow Knight Pyllis. It's not going to have any effect whatsoever, because of all the extra ER that Christy's giving me, and the S3 is also going to do next to nothing. So, yeah, so all Lua is really going to do is just piss me off for the sake of taking up the turns. So this is where, like, I'm very thankful that Guild War is not like Arena, in the sense that we don't have to deal with shit like lightning. Because that's, like, the only thing that really is making this comp work. It's because we don't have to deal with lightning. Yeah, sure, there's 100 turns remaining until you can draw, and then if I think you wait another 100 turns or something like that, and you're still not able to get a win, you forfeit the match. I mean, the odds of that happening, I don't think I've ever had it happen to me personally, even way back in the day whenever we could draw. But either way, still, all you have to do is just go into Choux. Seriously, because as soon as Choux goes down, the entire fight's over. So, hey man, go ahead and join me for this oh so wonderful, deliciously decadent match, which is an affront to God. Like, guys, stop using Senya, Choux, and Lua. Just stop. I understand that it's like a very, oh man, these three units are like all really cancer in some way, shape, or form. But like when you combine all three of those together, I'm not even kidding you, I can auto this. Like, I can actually step away from the game and just let the computer do the work. Which I will prove to you whenever I go back to doing the second match, because guess who we fight again? We fight another Lua, Senya, Choux. Woo! Appreciate it, guys. Man. But, like, yeah. We've already taken care of Choux, so now we don't really have any issues to deal with. Because, like, when the only real issue is Choux, and after you've taken care of her, because she's all the damage. She is all the DPS, she is all the damage. And as soon as she's gone, because the whole team just falls apart. So, we don't really have a really good answer to Choux yet. Like, we have certain comps that can, like, go together to, like, really kind of mess up Choux and some of her shenanigans, but we don't really have, like, the actual anti-Choux character. Like, you have Lone Crescent Bologna, but the reason why I don't ever use Lone Crescent Bologna going into things like Lua is just because Lua is the omega hyper cancer of this fucking game. I hate this unit more than life itself. This is a unit that straight up shouldn't exist. Some of the dumb shit that she does is just obscene, and it doesn't need to exist. Like, I firmly believe that. I think, like, they were smoking some serious high-quality ganja whenever they made her, and no, I just don't even want to talk about it. But either way, moving on to the next match. So, this is something that I've recently started doing just for the sake of feeling safety. So yeah, there's Mercedes, Conqueror, Lilias, and then Savior Adin, and that's also a very fast Savior Adin. However, the way in which I make this kind of guaranteed is even if that Savior Adin was faster and she killed my Shinji, then I can just utilize Destina to bring back the team. Like, it's all good to go, because like all of the buffs that are really relevant are on Zahhak. He gives them himself. He can attack buff if he wills, and I also have Symbol of Unity, so I will always hit Savior Adin. And now, I'm pretty much just waiting on the next turn to go through. I wouldn't have even cared if Magic for Friends procced right there. It wouldn't have really even affected me. Destina's there just as like an extra form of safety in case anything were to ever go wrong. Sinful Angelica is there so you only have to kill Mercedes once. Case in point right here. Yep, she didn't revive. And now, all you gotta deal with is just Conqueror Lilias. Like, yeah, it's very, very safe to go into this with Sinji and Zahhak and Destina. And sure, Destina didn't really do anything right here, but like, if anything were to go awry for any particular reason, yeah, that's what she's there for. And it just works super, super well going into that comp in particular. Lord, please give me strength. As we have to do it again. And straight up, right there on her very first hit. I've already had enough. I don't want to play this. I don't want to even touch this. Which is funny, because this Lua in particular is even more cancerous than the other one. I have a pretty good feeling that this Lua that I'm fighting now has far more effectiveness than the previous one did. But still, all you have to do is whenever I'm utilizing a Shadow Knight, Pyllis, Christy, and Roana comp, I just go ahead and hit auto and go right into Choux. As soon as Choux is dead, the entire team is completely gone. And here's the other fun thing about this, because you're not fighting Conqueror Lilias, so you're not dealing with her bringing in units that can really fuck you up. Because that's where, like, using Christy doesn't really work so much whenever you're going into this particular kind of comp. Like, instead of Lua, it was Conqueror Lilias. I wouldn't bring Christy, because Christy doesn't do enough in terms of like damage mitigation or anything along those lines, and it's just nothing useful in particular when fighting Conqueror Lilias. Now, so let's go ahead and actually talk about like the buffs that Christy got. So Christy recently got a buff where they changed her S2, and what they did with her S2 is they basically made it so that if she ever does not have a debuff on her and then she is hit by something, then she gives like a CR boost to herself and whoever's in the back row. Now, this actually sounds kind of based. And it does sound like pretty interesting whenever you put it that way. However, the only thing that really is kind of wrong with it, and it doesn't work super, super well with the kind of Christy that I'm utilizing, which is a 0-speed Christy. It doesn't really work so much because they're not even hitting into her. Like, they're not. Now, maybe perhaps if a attack went into, you know, the back line and nobody had any debuffs on them, and then you got the CR boost on, you know, both Christy and on your backline unit, okay, then I could probably see a little bit more value in that kit. But that's not the way it works. Which then leads me to think, okay, well, it's probably very, very possible that Christy might actually be getting a spec change soon. I know, like, some people are even thinking, like, no, that's definitely not going to happen. It's like, I don't know, man. This is actually kind of starting to line up, because we're pretty much 3 months in since the last spec change. This last spec change was Jenna, and that was basically just like, oh, hey, cool, I'm a cleave fucker. And that's basically it. Because her whole thing was, oh, I prevent, like, any kind of damage sharing shenanigans. And it's like, wow, whoop-de shit. I can see how, like, there's use and value in that, but, like, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. Because it's just like, if you're going to utilize a character like that, I mean, one, you're still susceptible to 15%. And that's where it's like, I immediately don't see any kind of, like, value with Jenna's kit. Whereas there's a lot of other units that just straight up bypass the whole damage sharing shenanigan. Like, that's in their kits. Anything that like that, okay, cool. So I see absolutely no value in the SC for Jenna. And that's kind of like how I felt about it, at least from the last spec change that we got. Like, yeah, it can do its function, but you also are susceptible to 15%. If they resist it, then, well, hey, cool, what use were you? But either way, let's go ahead and move on. So, yeah, here we have Conqueror Lilias, and then there's a Rimuru and there's also a Mercedes. So what I like to do here is I like to go ahead and bait the Rimuru with my Krau, and I'm going to utilize Zahhak to just straight up end the Mercedes career. Because, quite frankly, even if I do not kill the Mercedes, which I'm pretty sure I do kill her right here, I mean, yeah, this is worst case scenario. She got, like, you know, a defense buff, because that always seems to happen. Now, I did just enough damage where it doesn't matter. But whatever. The big thing is, the Rimuru is going to be procced to go into my Zahhak. This only makes it so that he steals, like, those two relevant buffs, which is attack and speed. Now, because of that, he didn't grab invincibility, which is really, really what I'm very, very thankful that he doesn't grab, because I give those buffs to myself from Sinji. And then, hey, right here, I can utilize Krau's S3, go into whoever I please. I decided to go into Rimuru, and then I'll utilize the dual attacks that I get from Sinji, kill the Rimuru, and Shazam. The only one that's left is Conqueror Lilias. So then I can just go in and dual attack with the Sinji again, and it's over. Lots of fun that you can have with that one. Sweet, delicious whiskey. Now, I thought this was actually kind of weird. So, this is Senya, Choux, and then Crimson Armin. Now, I kind of get what they're doing here, but, like, for starters, the Crimson Armin is actually way too slow. So, yeah, you have a damage mitigator who's here to kind of, like, stop your units from being killed. But, ultimately, still, your only threat is still Choux. So, as soon as I get the opportunity to really kill the Choux, the whole fight completely falls apart, because Crimson Armin's not going to do enough, like, damage mitigation and just keeping the units alive to, like, really be a threat. Like, way, way back in the day, Crimson Armin was, like, actually some omega super cancer when it came to, like, units staying alive. But, like, nowadays, nah, hell no. Because, like, all this is going to do is this is going to give, like, one turn of invincibility. But, like, look at where they were on the CR bars. So, like, right there, Choux has just straight up, like, gotten rid of her invincibility. It's already gone. So I can still keep going into her as much as I please. And also, hey, based. I had blind debuff and I still managed to get both hits. And Shazam, she's dead. So, because of that, the one main threat is already gone. And with that said, after these two turns that they're about to take with Senya and Crimson Armin, cool. So now they don't have their invincibility anymore, and all I have to do is just take my sweet little time to go into these two units. So I can see what this guy was trying to do. He was just trying to do some, like, damage mitigation. But, like, in all honesty, protection in terms of damage mitigation on, like, a Conqueror, on a Senya and on a Choux just seems like kind of like a waste of a third slot, because those two units in particular are already somewhat thick, because the way in which I'm able to kill them somewhat quickly is I utilize, like, additional damage. I'm not really utilizing a whole bunch of, like, raw stats to go into Senya and Choux. I'm utilizing things like Rocket Punch, which is additional damage, which is kind of, like, really, really nice in how it scales, because it really, really tends to work out. And then, like, right here, even though you're going to, like, take a pretty good portion of this damage, Crimson Armin, that was almost no barrier, so I was able to do almost max damage to the Senya right there. So if the Crimson Armin wasn't there, I'm pretty sure that would have killed her. Hey, cool, whatevs. Hey, maybe, perhaps they should buff Arunka, and, like, Arunka would, you know, not be fucking trash. But hey, with that being said, this match is over, so let's go ahead and move on. And right here, you're about to see some really, really, really bad plays. So this is Conqueror, Lilias, Luna, and Landy. One thing you should immediately notice, right off the jump, that Landy is not rocking Guiding Light. So this is actually, like, prime info of, okay, if that barrier did not go to the Luna, this is the main reason why I went to the Landy. But then the Landy attacked me with a counterattack. So now I'm pretty much just at the mercy of this team. I have to just play the RNG, because now the Landy is already cut past me, and it's just a matter of, can the Landy kill my Zahhak? So that's what I'm doing right here. The smartest thing to have done would have just been to go into the Luna with my Celine, and everything would have really been okay. Because then I would have taken this time to S3 with my Zahhak right there. I would have had invincibility right here. And also, by the by, this Luna is also on counter. All of those characters are on counter except for the Sea Lilias. But hey, thankfully, out of all the options for her to hit, it was going to go into Senji. Senji has immortality, does not matter whatsoever. So I'll just go into the Luna right here, kill with my Zahhak, and all we have left is Conqueror Lilias. Ooh, woo! And that is it. Boy howdy, that was an oh-so-fun Guild War. Almost nothing of real note actually happened. Woo! I'm going to grab myself a drink. But yeah, with that said, I don't know, I guess you could say this was like, what, a Christy video or something? I don't know. I'm willing to bet that there's probably going to be a spec change for Christy coming up soon. I mean, I'm not willing to put my bets down for it yet, because this isn't quite like the last time, because the biggest reason why we were all able to guess it was Jenna so easily the last time was because they also, whenever Smilegate like updated the game, they also broke it. And when they broke it, like, they messed up something with Riley and specifically Jenna, and just like, wait, what's going on with Jenna? Like, what's going on with her right there whenever they updated the game? And then that was just the biggest hint, period, that that it was gonna be Jenna. So, like, I don't know. It's possible that Christy could be next on the line for a spec change. Honestly, I'm here for it, because I think her kit as it is right now is interesting, but she just needs a little bit more to really make it useful and impactful. But hey, if you guys like this content, go ahead and hit a like. And if you want to go ahead and see more of my content, just go ahead and hit subscribe. I'm here, ready and willing. Hope to see y'all later.